Hi, I'm Dave Mamano from Emerge Optimize, and I'm here today with a great longtime customer, Betsy Verschage from Isaac Heating and Air Conditioning. Thank you so much for being here today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
We really appreciate that. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit. You've been working with Emerge Optimize for how many years now?
3.
About 3 years, and using our Predictive Index tool.
Yes.
So, and so, what are your I guess high-level thoughts about it since you switched from the one that you were using before?
Well, the one that we were using before was a paper-based instrument, and we were looking for something that could be online and also be able to collect data on our applicants and our employees so that we could understand more about the kinds of employees that were effective in the roles that we have at Isaac.
Great, excellent. So with the Predictive Index, how does Isaac apply using all that the Predictive Index has to offer?
Well, we first use it with our applicants. And to get the most out of the tool, you first have to set up what's called a job target. So we use the tool to send out evaluations, if you will, to the managers that oversee certain types of positions. And they fill out a questionnaire, and that creates a job target for the candidate. So let's say we're interviewing for an entry-level HVAC mechanic. We will send out this questionnaire. The data will be put together, and it will tell us the types of profiles of people that would be successful in that role. And the Predictive Index typically gives you 3. So it's not just one specific, person or type that you're looking for. They give you 3 that would be successful in that role. So that when we advertise our positions and we start to interview candidates and we take them to the next step, which is a behavioral assessment, when they take the behavioral assessment, we can compare that to the job target. And it really has proven itself over time.
So it kind of goes back to the whole book, Good to Great, Jim Collins, right
Yes.
bus, right seats, right people,
Right.
working together.
Right, and I'm glad you said that because we may interview a candidate, they may take the assessment, and they may not be ideal for the role that they applied for.
Yeah.
But we'll come back to them and say, hey, we've got this other open position over here. And we've hired many people that way, where they thought they were going to go into a certain role, but like you said, they just took a different seat on the bus.
Yeah, that's so important because a lot of times you have a person with great attitude, but you just have to kind of rematch the skills to the right position, and the Predictive Index allows you to do that.
Right.
Yeah, I used to have a boss that would say, great actor, great actress, wrong role. Let's find another role for them within the company if we can.
Right,
Yeah?
exactly.
Yeah, so it's good to hear. How has adding our tools improved Isaac's business performance?
Well, we also use the employee survey tool. And so, in fact, right now we have it going on in our company for the 3rd year. And it's called the Employee Engagement Survey. And it gives us data on our company as a whole, as well as individual departments. And it's very, very helpful to understand how engaged our employees are, what they think about their job, what they think about their manager, what they think about the company. And it gives us, a lot of valuable feedback statistically, as well as, documented answers or concerns that our employees have that we can address.
Excellent. So do you feel that since you've started, working with Emerge Optimized and the Predictive Index, do you feel that it has increased, business performance, business revenue?
Definitely, because when you have the right people in the right seat on the bus,
Right.
You can do the right things at the right time in the right way.
I love it. I love the way you said that.
Thank you.
We're talking about how it's all about the right people, getting them to do the right performance, right? Leads to profits, right? So people, performance, profits.
Exactly.
Excellent. What do you see the benefits of the Predictive Index as opposed to some of the other tools that you've used in the past?
Well, it's the data. Understanding your employee population from a different perspective, as well as, let's say, I'm not getting along with somebody, which I hope is not the case being in human resources, but let's just say. I will actually pull my profile in the predictive index and their profile, and it can be partnered together to explain the differences between, like I'm an individualist, and let's say I'm interacting with an altruist. It will actually come together and say, Betsy, this is what you should do to be successful interacting with this person, and vice versa. So in that regard, it's extremely helpful. It's also helpful in terms of a coaching tool. I may notice that one of my direct reports, isn't really doing what I want them to do, and then I pull up the predictive index and I discover how they would like to be given direction. And so I can alter my management style in order for them to be more successful.
I love that.
So, yeah.
So if I'm following you correctly, kind of the first step, the predictive index helps you with hiring.
Correct.
Right. And then once they're in, putting them in the right place, but using it to optimize not only themselves, but how you interact or how, I guess, designing the team to make sure that they interact the best way possible.
Exactly. And we can also see what other positions that individual will be successful in. So when you talk about career development, we can actually pull up their profile and run it against the other job targets that we have in the system and see that, this person can also be good maybe at sales and marketing. And so for career development, we can give them that feedback. And we've had great success with that as well.
So I'm guessing by what you're saying is that it's been terrific for engagement and retention.
Correct. Absolutely.
How has retention been for you? It's been such a problem for companies lately, it seems like. How's it been for you?
It's been crazy. Thankfully, we've been going in a good direction recently. COVID, was a challenge. But I think we really have developed a really strong employee base. And we get a lot of employee referrals as well. So that's helped us really overcome the hiring challenges that many companies are facing.
Right. Well, word of mouth from an existing employee, it doesn't get any better than that, right?
Right.
I love where I work.
Yeah.
Come here, right?
Yeah.
So I'd like to think the predictive index, it sounds like, has a lot to do with, helping you with engagement and retention as well then.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's
Absolutely.
You moved from your own employee engagement survey to working with Emerge Optimize and the Predictive Index. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit why and why you think the Predictive Index is even better?
Well, again, we used a paper-based instrument that we would have to fax to an industrial psychologist for review. Sometimes that person might go on vacation. So we'd get, it'd be quite some time before we'd get some responses back. And the responses that we got back were a little difficult for people, like I'm not an industrial psychologist, so it can be a little difficult to understand the results. And you would just get those results for that person for that particular position. And so we were looking for a tool that was proven, that could also grow with our company, because our company has grown year after year. In fact, when I started with the company 8 years ago, we were at 260, and now we're up at 550.
Wow.
So we needed a tool that could really help us with recruiting to know that we were hiring, a candidate that would be successful in that role. Now, it's not a be-all, end-all. Obviously, you have to look at the behavioral profile. We also use the cognitive tool in the assessment as well as the interview, getting the hiring manager's input, et cetera, to really make sure we get, a candidate that's a good fit, that's going to be successful in that role. And the predictive index starts that whole process for us.
Well, you're really maximizing it.
Yeah.
And so how was the training to get you to where you are right now and being the expert in administering it?
Well, we were lucky in that our sales manager was in the process from the get-go. And he was in the initial training, and he really ran with the tool. He had all of his sales people do it, and then he used the team module to plot his team. And what he discovered was there was a certain quadrant within that plot where all of his successful salespeople landed. And he has used the tool ever since.
So that became a benchmark.
It really did.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah, I love it. What's been the reaction from your team when they take it about how quick it is? Because, I took it, most people take it around 5 minutes.
Right.
And then the results that we get from that 5 minutes, how's been the reaction from your team?
Well, what's interesting is that, at first people were kind of standoffish because you're taking this assessment and you're thinking, did I pass it? Did I fail it?
Can't
And with the predictive index,
Right.
it's just, it's just who you are.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful thing. And we all kind of joke about it back in the office because all of us have our profile on our door.
Oh, wow.
And so when you walk up to my door, it'll say my name, Betsy Verschage, and it'll say individualist. Mm-hmm. And then it kind of plots, who I am as a person so people can understand, am I more extroverted or introverted?
Yeah.
Am I more, collaborative? Am I more precise?
Yeah.
Who is this person? So that you can get a quick snapshot so that you know how to react with them. Like most of our salespeople are mavericks. And we joke about that.
I'm a maverick.
You were a maverick.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Because they will just go off, and the icon for it is a rocket. So they'll just go off on a tangent, and if you let them go, they're highly successful.
Yeah.
But if you try to put a lot of rules and policies around what they do, they don't like it.
Right.
So it's been a great communication tool.
And if a maverick knocks on the door of one of your, we'll say programmers, they may look at the door first to see, who they are, the characteristics, and say, I might have to adapt my maverick style.
Right. Yeah.
In this interaction, right? And vice versa, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This has been phenomenal. Well, thanks. I mean, you guys, Isaac, Heating and Air Conditioning, and you, Betsy, are really maximizing the predictive index, and we really appreciate you being a long-term customer of Emerge Optimize.
It's been a great journey.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in and do this. We appreciate it.
You're very welcome.